going on, everybody? Just pulling up my chat here. Alrighty. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so welcome everybody. I'm Go Be or Go Home. This is Rail Talk. I show up every Saturday, and lately I've been working on this kit. It's the Walthers diesel house, but I'm doing a big build challenge, so I'm taking 3 of them and I'm combining them into one kit to make one really big diesel facility. I'm continuing today. I think today is part either 5 or part 6. I can't remember. Whatever I labeled it as. Part 6. Okay, so this is the 6th episode of this. And it is not done yet. It is definitely not done. I'm nowhere near being done because it is such a large facility. But today we're doing something a little bit different. I am going to build the base, the almost like a module for the kits to sit on, and this way I'll be able to work on it and then put it up on the layout, and if for any reason I need to move, I can always disconnect it from the rest of the layout and move it as one individual solid thing, so that hopefully nothing gets damaged, nothing breaks, nothing falls apart on it, but it's all going to be centered around this platform that I'm going to have all 3 kits on. And then, of course, I'll scenic it and whatnot. We'll talk more about that after. But, I do want to say hi to everybody. Brian was the first one, so he's getting the Timbits tonight. Very consecutive, Brian. The early bird gets the Timbits. Trains by Perry, hello. Almar and Mr. Dwight Curley. Covenant Rails says he'll be back soon, but he'll be around. Todd Armstrong, how's it going? You're definitely not late. If you're 5 minutes early, then you're on time. Willow Creek Industrial Whisper, how's it going? I really like how your layout is coming along there with the buildings that you've been doing. Very nice, very nice. Ronald, how's it going, Ronald? And Nelson, how's it going, Nelson? And we've got Dundas Junction Model Railroad. And Adrian, how's it going? Mike H.O. Trains. John Train. Got a little bit of everybody. Everybody's pouring in because it's Saturday night and you don't have to watch some disappointing boxing tonight. You can watch me and we can work on stuff. Austin Possum, how's it going? All right, so I'm going to show you guys basically what I've been working on. So this platform here, like I said, this is the platform to which the buildings are going to sit on. Okay, so I've been working on this all day. Went to the hardware store. I got a nice piece of, what is this, 1/2-inch spruce? Pine? 1/2-inch wood. It wasn't a big piece. It was, it was 4 feet by 2 feet, and I did have it cut down. It is 21 inches deep, and I believe it's 34 1/4 wide. And this is the depth of that section. So this is going to go right into the back corner on the top there. I've already added a little bit of a platform underneath just to kind of give it support. This is very flat. It's not going to flex on me, I hope. It does seem very strong though, so the flatter the better. Inked rails, how's it going, Brian? And then I did get some foam. You can see some foam I've already glued down. And there's a reason why I have it squared off like this, and obviously I'll show you. But these pieces are already glued down. I'm going to have another strip right along this back section here as well. that I've done to kind of prep this for you guys so that you don't have to watch me do all this is that there's several holes all along here, and it's because of all the wiring that needs to go through this and then, onto the underside, which I'll be able to do a whole wiring thing after. Now, here is one of the buildings, and I'm going to show you this because it's very strange. So, when we are looking at the kit, besides the wiring that comes out the bottom, which is already kind of a pain, we've got to have it sit flat, and that's why we've got the holes there. I'm going to put all the wires through it, and then it'll sit flat. Now the height here, because there's a bit of a thick bottom to it. Is the music okay? Fine, I'll kill it with the music. I don't want to put you guys. I didn't think it was that loud, but I turned it down. Either way, all right. It was just for the intro, anyways. But yeah. So basically, the height of the track, you can kind of see. It looks weird, right? Like they're kind of floating, and the height here is a 1/2 inch. So if I put this foam, which is a 1/2 inch piece of foam, that'll sit flat, and then of course the track will sit flat on there. But I don't want that. I want cork to be underneath this. That's just how I do things. So I have to raise up this entire thing the height of a cork so that I can put cork under here. That's probably the easiest way to do it. At least that's how I'm going to do it. So I have to do that for all 3 pieces, and I'm not going to use just put it all down. I'm going to use strips in very specific areas here so that I'm not wasting so much cork. Hey, it's Big CW. How's it going? So I got to add some cork to the front here, and then I'm going to also add cork on this part here so that I can raise up the buildings just a little bit. And you'll notice on this side, this is going to be right against the wall here, but I've got a couple of pins. I don't know if you can see that. Those are for track centers going all the way back. So I'll be able to put 2 more tracks right at the back here. I don't know for what. I think I might just have them as, a couple of sidings, just to storage, just to have storage on the tracks. But that might be all I need there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding the cork in the specific areas here. And then that way we can hopefully get the buildings in place, because that'd be cool. I did make some lines or some marks here for the track so that I can put cork down. And it's 3 lines per thing here. Gotta mark it. So you can barely see it. Made an indent in the foam, and that's about it. So basically just mostly prepping this for the kit, but once I get the kits in place, then I can start doing all the other stuff around it and also on the inside. Okay, so I think what I want to do, so I've got these strips of cork here, and I want to put it right along the back here just to make sure that's raised up a bit. And I'm going to do that roughly to about here. That end's kind of janky though. So. And thanks to everybody who watched my live stream on Thursday. I was able to get some wires hooked up and some track in place, and now I'm able to run a train on my layout, which is great. It doesn't go very far, but for what it's worth, I definitely miss running trains. So now that I can do that again, it'll be fun. Again, I used wood glue. No big deal. Because it holds really, really well. I used wood glue to put this foam down, and it didn't take long for it to dry. So I'm hoping the same thing happens here with the cork. Need a little piece. Will that work? A little bit bigger. Again, a lot of this cork here is used cork, so it's basically I've recycled it. Put this in place. Got lots of this cork here, so I'm not really too worried that I'm going to use it all. Because, there's lots. I'll probably have to get some more eventually anyways, especially when I go to do my yard. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's going to take a while and lots of track and whatnot. Oh yeah, Willow Creek. I was watching your live the other day and I was commenting, and I don't think anybody could see my comments, and that includes yourself. You always got to make sure that when you're doing a live, and I think it's usually when you're doing it through YouTube, always set it so that you can see all comments, because it defaults to top comments. Because I was saying, I'm like, yeah, it looks really good and whatnot, and there was no reply. So that could be why. Okay, so kind of want to do this so that I'm. Yeah, I don't think it has to be perfect. I think I just need a ruler and my knife. Well, I could put down a sheet of cork, but that's a huge piece there. And technically, the middle section here doesn't even, it wouldn't even touch the bottom. It's really just the edges. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut a 2-inch piece, probably. I'm going to mark it out. No worries. I don't think there's anything, like there's no such thing as a stupid question, especially when it comes like to something like this. Because there's so many ways to do things, and this is just how I'm doing it. But yeah, the actual base of the structure does not actually touch the middle, right? It only makes the connection around the outside. So that's why I'm only bothering to do this, like the middle section. Hey, Bubs, how's it going? I think this will be my my next thing that I really got to take care of is getting this top section ready for track and switches. Because now that I have the base to this, I kind of want to build the rest of it. And it's like, I know it doesn't connect with the rest of the layout yet. And I'm not on the second, part of my layout yet, but I'm still kind of excited to do all that. I think I'm going to do 1-inch sections for the sides. Because it doesn't need to be that wide, it just needs to catch. See, now where this only used up 1 square, it would have taken like 3 or 4 squares to cover this thing completely. And yeah, I used some railroad cork, but it's like, man, I got under that. Well, kind of. I've got enough. I can spare some. Is anybody else working on something? Am I the only one working on projects right now? What is everyone else working on? Because it's Saturday night, I'm off all weekend, so this is my time to do stuff. I can't do stuff during the week all that much. I can, but it's just, it's way more tiring. Oh, by the way, this cork here is the same height as the railroad cork, so it's super convenient. It just works. So I'm very happy about that. Painting mini prints, 10 plus projects. Just finished gluing 120 windows. Oof. That's brutal. You guys are doing all the fun stuff. Working on a drainage ditch. Oh, man. Everyone is getting stuff done. I love it. Because it's not going to build itself. I know they might have said it's going to build itself, but it really won't. It takes time and patience and whatnot. ACHB Railway, how's it going? Finished the build of my rail shop yesterday. Yeah, I was watching the video earlier. Good job on that. Those are really fun kits to do. I really like the Walthers kits. I think that's why I wanted to build like a massive one. I like the look of that one too, the one that you're doing, but it wouldn't fit for what I need. So that's why I'm doing just the diesel shop instead. But I've done the one that's kind of like the one you did without that back section. It just has the 3 bays and it's very boxy. That was a popular one as well. You always see that on everyone's layout. I think Sparky has a couple of them too. I think you did the combination thing where you put a couple of them together. Again, working with wood glue, honestly, it's a huge time saver, and it's very strong too. I definitely recommend it. Lepage. It's available to you. I'm pretty sure it's very comparable to the Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Wood Glue, or whatever you want to call it. Put another pin over there, just because I felt like it was kind of coming up. Now this won't take too long to dry. I'll be able to show you what we're doing here. Yeah, it's really, well, I mean, wood glue, as they say, a lot of people will put, the screw in, but they'll put the wood glue and the screw, which just adds extra strength, which is really good. But I use it for cork. So I'm going to wait on this piece because I'm pretty sure it's going to be in this general area here, but I want to make sure that it's precise. So while I'm waiting for this to kind of dry, I'm going to make these 2 lines here because I do plan on putting extra track. Whoops. What are we talking? I think the instructions are translated from German, Chinese, Polish, and the journey to English suffers. I'm not sure which kit that is. Walthers instructions. I mean, there isn't even really. There's not much to them. I usually just go off the pictures and the numbers. Typically, yeah, there's the certain times where you got to read it because it'll say, "Oh, make sure you do this before you do that, and do this before you do that." And it's like, why do you have to make things so complicated? Always make things complicated. That's Walthers. Okay, so I did 2 inches apart. So I'm going to cut some more 2-inch pieces here. because I'm going to add I'm yet to do the turntable. James did it. But I'm like, I haven't been able to justify getting a turntable yet for my layout. Usually the only reason why I do so many plastic kits is because they don't make wood kits in everything. If ITLA made this diesel shop as a wood kit, I probably would have done that instead. But here we are. Their turntable notoriously bad. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, some Walthers kits, I've done quite a few, and some are better than others for sure. I don't know if I have a favorite Walthers kit though, just because at one point or another, I feel like it's got me somehow angry. The Walthers engine shed I'm building now is typical. It's okay and basic, but the windows don't fit. I have to scrape a bit off the plastic. They will drop in place. Yeah. I don't think they ever really update their tooling. And that's a big issue that I have with some of it. Because the kits here, the 3 diesel shops, like I did one a long time ago, and I had the exact same issues with this one that I did with the old one, the one that I did a long time ago. I was like, how I've missed you. At least this time I'm going to get to use on my layout, so that's not a bad thing. The 8 3/4. Yeah. But the lumber mill, if it's the one I'm thinking of, that was done within the last couple of years. So something has definitely changed in the way that they do their, instructions. Just for that, where I'm sure this diesel shop, well, let's see, I did my first diesel shop like at least 8 years ago, 8 or 9. So I'm pretty sure it's been around for a while. The one Walthers kit that I will probably never purchase ever again, the oil refinery. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible kit. That one had me like sweating because it was just so terrible. I was so mad. And it just doesn't work, it just doesn't do what it should do. And I just didn't like it at all. And it was bad enough that when I opened the kit was missing like a whole brass sheet of handrails. And then it's like trying to glue brass handrails that you got to curve yourself to these walkways that are plastic. And yeah, it was not, maybe it wasn't bad in the sense where, a professional could probably do it and, do it just fine. But, it was still very early in my kit building career. I don't know. I don't really call it a career, but yeah, just early in my days of building stuff. And I didn't, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. Biggest frustration with building this kit wasn't the kit. Spilling my bottle of MEK was the worst part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that would be a pain. I've actually like this glue here. I love this glue. This is my plastic. I always weld. It's like a plastic welder. I've knocked this over with the lid off before, and the whole thing spilled all over my mat, and I was not okay. I was very upset by that because just needing glue, and then there was barely anything left. It was such a waste. It's not the kind of thing where you can kind of just scoop up and put back into the container. It happens. It honestly happens. Brian said the refinery kit was horrible just because of the brass parts. So, okay, Brian, that honestly makes me feel a lot better that I wasn't the only one that, had a tough time with it. Thank you. Because, yeah, it was brutal. Brutal. And I'm usually, I know my way around a plastic kit. I'm not, out to lunch with some of this stuff. I can do stuff. Ow. I just hit my knee. Don't say that, and say we'll be building that kit on my next layout. Don't do it. If I could give some words of advice, skip that kit. Nah, like if you can do it, all the more to you. But man, I will not be doing that kit again. It's kind of like when I was done doing the all the things that hold the rails. I was like, I did it. I did it for 3 kits. It was over 400 parts. I did it the one time. I'm never doing it again. And if anybody wanted me to build this kit for them, I'd say I'll do it, but I'm not going to glue and paint all 400 of those little things for you. You got to do that. That's the only stipulation. I'm glad I get to add some storage tracks here. Jeez. Sometimes I don't like to break up my passenger stuff, so I'll just bring it in and I'll put it on the siding and I'll leave it until I run it again, which is quite often. Well, I think it will be quite often once I get things going. There are 3D printed glue bottle holders to prevent spilling. They are a few bucks, but compared to the cost of glue, I think I've seen those. Aren't they for the AK bottles? I'm adding Weissman doors to my engine house. They fit it automatic remote doors. Neat. Harry's been sending me a lot of links for servos for the doors for my buildings. Problem is that most of the servo doors or the servo motors, they're like $70 a piece, and I've got 13. No, three. Well, nine. Yeah, nine. Sorry, I've got 9 doors that I would need to automate, and that's a whole lot of schmola, a lot of kablinky, as they say. So I doubt I'll be doing that, but it would be cool if I can add them later on, like way later on, maybe. I was thinking a board and a hole saw will make a bottle holder. Transformer kit is big. To me, and all sorts of manufacturing. Okay, because the one I saw was specifically for oh, that's Vallejo. Maybe it is Vallejo, but I mean they're all roughly about the same size. But yeah, I saw ones that you sit this in and then it makes it bottom heavy so it doesn't spill. Those are cool. I don't have any though. I don't have a lot of paints. I've got paints that I use as I need them, but I don't have like a huge collection. Some guys have like the whole 9 yards of paint. It's like, dang, that's a lot of paint. What kind of gold-plated servo motors are you looking at? I've seen them for like $2 to $3. What? I've been looking at the ones on the friggin' sites for these whatchamacallit companies. The ones where they have them like pre-wired and all that. And they're for they're for the automatic doors. There was a couple of websites that had there was one that had a roll-up door. That one was pretty sweet. That one, how much was that one? I can't remember how much the roll-up door one was. Chris, are you shopping on Temu again? I got to see these $3 servo machines. Yeah, the ones I saw were like $70. Temu is great. How did I know? Well, Todd, consider yourself lucky because that could have been disastrous. Okay, so now I'm going to do the front section here. Short pieces. Now I do want to create something going across the front of these so it almost looks like concrete. I'll probably do that later. And then I do want to add dwarf signals because there was no way that I was adding signals to the inside or to the front, I should say, where the plastic is very thin and there's already no room. So now I've already seen what it looks like with the buildings inside here. I mean, it didn't have the cork in there and the cork on the front. I've already seen what it looks like, and I can't wait to show you guys because I think it looks super cool, and I can't wait to add it to the layout. Whoops. How are you guys feeling about that whole Canada Post strike? You know, I don't normally like talking about the negative stuff, but I think it's been on a lot of people's minds lately with the fact that a lot of us like to order stuff online. It's like, when will we get our train stuff? When? I actually got my package just in time before they actually called the whole strike. So I didn't have to worry too much. But of course, you know, it's going to come down to it. It's like, oh, I'm going to need something. So I'd have to place an order. Well, actually, I already know of a couple of things that I need, just switches. But yeah, it's tough. It feels like this happens every year, same time. You know, Canada Post goes on strike. It's always just before Christmas, conveniently, and then businesses suffer because of it. Yeah, it's the worst because if you ordered it Thursday or Friday, then yeah, you'd probably have to wait now for things to kind of clear up before they actually ship it. I think it's a perfect time to go into the shop. I think a lot of people, they depend on the whole shipping process just to save them a trip in. But think of all the things that you'll see if you actually go in. You're only seeing a small fraction when you're on a website searching for whatever. You see so much more when you actually go into a store. Oh, that's lucky, Brian. I have a number of packages in transit. Got a notice from Canada Post telling me right after Canada Post said we're not sending stuff. Ah. Yeah, it's brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. And what can you do? There's absolutely nothing you can do. You're at the mercy of the company and what they're willing and not willing to do. And then your options are, well, you can still order, but you can use like a different shipping company, but then you're paying like an arm and a leg at that point. And it's like shipping is already kind of pricey. So I mean, it's gotten somewhat better recently. I feel like my package that I got the other day, I only paid about $20 for it, where in the past I've paid upwards of 50 for shipping. And I just recently sent a box out to Australia from Canada, and it cost the gentleman. Now he had the option for either 30 days not tracked or 8 days tracked, but it was a difference of $100. So he ended up paying about $240 for me to ship a box to Australia, and he got it already. He got it within 8 days, but it's like, oof, $200 to ship a package. That's true. I got a box in the other day, Perry. Unless my kids are watching, I didn't get any Lego in. My kids are probably not watching right now. Also, I was at Toys R Us today, and they're having a lot of Lego sales. I only say that because I know you like your Lego. Critter Valley's charging extra now. I mean, I feel like they've been charging extra for years. And that's just not the shipping. That's everything. Do you think any more extra functions for this model? For this one? For the I added doors that I've added a door. I wanted to get it nice and flat and in place first before I do anything extra, like detail wise. But I got these little hinges that I'd ordered from Amazon, the Zon, as they call it. I'll show you. Got this little package last week, and they're little clear hinges. Now the red on there, that's just the sticky stuff, right? So yeah, but it's a clear plastic hinge. They're very, it's not stiff at all. And yeah, basically you take off your strip, you stick it to whatever, and then it's a hinge. And I think I paid $6, $6 or $7, and there's 20 hinges. 20 hinges. So I've already put one door or one set of doors on. But what I want to do, what I want to add to it, is like a little magnet, so that it's easier to close the door, and then that way I can just use a little Rapido wand. God only knows I have like a million of them now, and I can basically just use the wand and close the door with the magnet wand. But that'll be another purchase for another day. Trying to do this in baby steps, little bit by little bit. I have to order a bunch of detail parts still for the actual building, which I'm still very excited about doing. I want to get the whole thing in place because there's a lot of cosmetic type things I have to do to the outside of it as well as the inside, just to make them look like it's one solid building, opposed to it being three buildings that I'm just kind of, tacking together. Well, Chris, you were nice enough to send me some links to some 3D printing places. Not 100% yet, but there's a couple of pieces that I was interested in. That it's an air conditioning unit for a trailer. That's one thing, but it looks like something else in one of the pictures that I have of the inside of the shop, which might also be air conditioner. It's hard to say, but I'm gonna totally get that, and I'm going to put it inside, and I'm gonna add some piping to it and whatnot. I've already got lots of piping, but I could always get more. The welder sounds like a good idea too. Not 100% on that, but I was thinking about it. I'll be going to Amherst in January, Springfield show. So I was hoping to see what I can find there, because there's always neat vendors with some cool stuff that you don't just see anywhere, So I'm going to take a look and see what I can find. But I've got a list. Chris, go to that big toy store in Stittsville near Highway 77. Oh, the play value. It's probably like 10, 15 minutes. Not even 15 minutes. Probably like 10 minutes from my house. I've never been there in the time that I've lived here, but I should probably go. Is it too? Okay, well, see, that shows how much I know. It feels like everything in Stittsville is 2 minutes away from everything in Stittsville, so I should probably know better. I have not checked my list twice yet, though. That's a December thing. I only do that in December. Got to keep up with the nursery rhymes and stuff. Got to make it believable. They have a bunch of Lego. What would is there much of a difference going there than Toys R Us? Because, I'll either order online or I'll go into Toys R Us, which is, again, like 2 minutes down the road, So I don't really know if there's much of a difference doing one or the other. I just kind of do whatever. Sometimes I'll even scour the interweb and I'll say, well, which one's cheaper? Who has it at a better price? Just trying to be, frugal, as they say. But does that place have less expensive? I don't want to say cheap because nothing about Lego is cheap. But do they have less expensive Lego? The Lego Advent calendar? I don't know. I don't know if they've been Advent calendar good. I've seen those. I'm pretty sure, like, with some of them, like I think there's a Star Wars one and Star Wars Lego, and there's another one where it's just Lego, like kind of like Lego City. Yeah, I mean, like you'll find the odd sale, but it's usually right across the board, right? Like from what I've seen, it's like if you're in a pinch, just go to Toys R Us. But if you're not in this super hurry, or if Toys R Us doesn't have it, then order it online. But I like the whole thing with ordering Lego online because if you spend so much, then you get free kits as well. Um, and then you also get points to use towards other kits as well, which is kind of neat. I wish hobby stores did that. Spend a lot of money here, and then you get a discount when you spend so much. You get so much off your order. That would be cool. There was one website, I think it was Hobby Link Japan. Hobby Link, yeah. Um, they had something kind of like that. I don't know if they're still around. It's been a while since I bought from them, but they've got some of that hard to find stuff, which is cool. But then, yeah, you would also get points. Yes, we got Toys R Us up here in Canada. It's not an actual store. It's a giant igloo filled with toys. But yeah, we call it Toys R Us. And for some reason, because we used to have a music store called HMV. Uh, I used to even work at an HMV a long time ago, back in the day. But HMV went out of business, of course, because you can buy all your music through iTunes and whatnot now, um, or Spotify, you know. So the need for a music store kind of went, out the window. So now Toys R Us, I guess, bought the rights to HMV, and they have a whole section where you can buy vinyls and CDs, stuff like that, and it's a conjoined thing, which is weird. That's not my Toys R Us, and that's not the Toys R Us I grew up with. But the times they are a changing. It is what it is. Oh, you mean Joffrey? Giraffe? I think they were borderline closing in Canada as well, or just a majority of the stores closed because there's not a lot of them left. But I think they reopened a lot of locations, just not as many as what it used to be, and not at the capacity that it used to be. Toys used to be so sick when I was little, but Now it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's not as good. That, and remember when you used to go into like Walmart or I don't know, some like Zellers, stuff like that. And in the electronics section, they'd always have the video game, the latest console set up with the TV and the game, and you could go up and play it. And then you'd be waiting for hours for that other kid to get off the darn machine just so you could play. I was that kid stuck on the machine. Nah. But yeah, times have changed. They don't have that anymore. All the stores in the States closed, but kept the majority of the Canadian stores. Yeah. They still got rid of a lot, though, which is sad. And then, of course, yeah, like the whole adding HMV music to it, and they've been through a lot of changes over the years. All right, ACH&B or ACHB Railway. You have yourself a great night. A couple more pieces to do here, and then I'm going to start taking some of these pins off here, and we're going to see how some of these buildings here fit. And get a good look here at. Ooh, glue's a dripping. Oh. Are you going to have a fueling station? Yeah, I think that I could probably add it alongside there. And then Chris, actually, a big CW there, he sent me a link the other day for a car wash, but not a car wash, a passenger train wash station that I think looks so cool. The way they have it for this building or this facility, it's inside a building. So I'd have to get the kit, and then I would have to build a building around it or put it inside another building just to kind of make it look like the real thing. But yeah, he was looking at those, and then he sent me a link for a video. It was a very cool idea. Wasn't something I had originally considered, but it's definitely something that I might. I actually was at the HQ that was in New Jersey when they closed down the company I worked for, bought the office furniture, and they even had a giant Spider-Man. Dang. We're going to be putting in sanding facilities, fuel points. I'm not sure how much room I'm going to have, especially with the fact that I've got 9 tracks, 9, 10, 11. But I'm going to see what I can add, opposed to telling you what I can't add. I'm hoping to add several different things to the layout, and I've got 9 feet of space there just to kind of work that out. So I'm hoping it works out. But yeah, sanding towers, maybe a train wash. It's definitely a few things to consider for sure. I'm just going to give it a minute so that this can dry. These are all my track leads here, where all the tracks are going to sit on top of those. So I was originally going to put a pike stuff building here, right beside it, and it was going to stick out much further than the other ones. But I'm replacing that. I'm just going to put 2 tracks here instead. No need for another building. I think that this should be the main thing that you look at, as opposed to this and another building. Most of it would be hidden anyways behind this, so you'd only really see from like here forward, which would be half on here and half off. So I don't know, it just seems like more of an inconvenience to have it than anything, because even when I add tracks onto here, it's going to all come to here. For the power, because I still need to add power to every single one of these tracks. I had mentioned that earlier, where I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, or I know what I'm going to do and I haven't really mentioned it. I kind of know what I want to do. Just as an easy on, easy off, I want to put the rail joiners. I think Atlas makes them. As long as they're code 100, I'm going to put the rail joiner with the feeder, and it's going to come down, and it'll be right between here and the other part of the layout that goes up against it. So it'll be kind of hidden, but it's all going to be connected to this piece here. And then all I got to do is connect my track to it, and yeah, and then work forward. But I think that if the power's right here, it gives this entire section more than enough power to run trains in and out of there. I am worried about doing it so that they all power on at the same time. I could probably, well, I know how to do it where, you flick a switch and this one turns on. You flick a switch and this one turns on, so on and so forth. It's just a matter of isolating one rail. But do I want to do that? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that part of it yet. I'm mostly just focusing on the main build itself right now. So I'm just going to kind of fix this a little bit so I can get the track on here. I know it's probably not dry yet, so just going to fix this. So I want to put the first building on. You guys can see what that'll look like. Also, guys, don't forget, I've got my new stickers that I'm going to be getting in real soon of my new logo. And you're yet to remind me. I know I got an email. Who did I get the email from? Who did I get it from? Brian. Yeah, I got the email from Brian because he wants a sticker. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you do want a sticker, my new sticker, and you don't know if I have your mailing address, just shoot me an email. Here you go. Bam. Because when I get them in, it's only going to be so many. Because it's my 100-year, or not 100-year. Wow, 100-year. Yeah, imagine doing this for 100 years. My 10-year logo sticker. So they will be very limited. You don't have to do it right now, but that's my email. If you want to make sure that I do send you some stickers, just let me know. Okay, so hole number 1. The wiring part is always the pain. Always. Never fails. It's going to be like this forever. All I got to do is like get it started, and then it won't be so bad. I think. I wish I had an extra set of hands. That would be cool too. The other thing I'm saying here is that I don't want to break it. I'm going to do this, but I don't want to break anything. Because if I break it now, it's like, why? At least that's going in. Okay, I think that because I've started it, it'll be okay. Oh, yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'll keep telling myself that. Now, again, there is a lot more parts to go on to these. So if you see anything that looks like it's missing, don't worry. Because haven't forgotten. Oh, you do have the wash. You have the wash station. Is it good? Is it good? Is it a good kit? Is it worth it? What do I do? Oh. So let's just gotta pull it a little bit further. Okay, wow, holy moly. That is in. That's in place. That is kind of cool. I don't hate it, and I'm not mad. So, what have we learned? Don't do this ever again. Attempt the big things just once, because you'll probably be mad if you try it again and again. So, I must be pleased? Question mark. Yes, I am mostly pleased with what's going on here. Mostly, I I feel like everything that I thought this would be, I'm on par for it being that, if that makes sense. Because when you imagine something and you imagine pulling it together and all the things you got to do that, it takes a lot. There's a lot to it. It's not like shake the box and it all happens by itself. You got to put in the time, you got to put in the work, just like anything else, right? And it is what it is. But what it is something that's cool that you're gonna look at later on and be like, "Dang, I did that." So you got to be happy with it. And so far, so good. I'm pretty happy with it. I like how it looks. Gotta obviously fix the land here because, you know, but I definitely wanted to put it on cork. It sits flat mostly, so I don't have to really worry about it warping. I am worried about putting two of them side by each, and then adding the third one. It's the thing. Just because the first one was kind of a pain to go in. So I'm only anticipating this one to also be fun. I'll say fun, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll add the second one here too. I just gotta adjust these things again. And I gotta take out a few more of these pins. They're holding down cork. Should probably swap these out. Now, it's a little tippy right now because of something. I'm pretty sure it's the wire underneath, so it's not sitting flat. But once I clean up the wiring on the underside of this thing, then it should be okay. Emphasis on the should. Thanks, Larry. Good to see you. Thanks, Todd. And Nelson. Thanks for the support, guys. See, I could stare at this thing all day long and still be like, it doesn't look right. But like when other people are like, yo, that looks good or whatever, then I'm like, okay, fine, it looks good. And then I feel happy because I feel like I've done something correct. How do I want to do this? So bring in the second one, which will be in the middle. I do want to put some glue here to kind of hold them together. Put some glue along here. I'll hold off on the glue for there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. That's fine. It's just the wiring, right? The wiring is what gets me because there's so much of it. I wanted to make sure I had enough extra wire here to be able to, wire it. I didn't want to come up short with wiring. Oh my god, the whole thing's tangled. So much wire. I know that once I turn this thing upside down, or not really upside down, but like upside, so I can see the wiring underneath, it's going to be crazy looking because there's going to be so much wire under this thing. I'm already thinking about my next kit. I'm trying to struggle here, or not struggle, trying not to struggle. I don't try to struggle. What do you mean? Yeah, I like building kits like this, and I can't wait to do the next one. And I want to do another wood kit. I think after doing the ITLA kit, I'm pumped on those now. So again, if it wasn't for needing this big shop, I'd be doing another wood kit right about now. This is more of a need than a want. Okay, so I got this actually went in a lot easier than the last one, and I'm not sure why. Okay. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Okay. So things are okay. All right. It's true. we really are our own worst critics, especially when it comes to doing something like this where you're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? I don't know if I'm doing it right or am I doing it wrong. I'm just kind of doing it and hoping for the best. It was a good idea propping that up. Okay, so this has to go in place here. And I gotta still pull that wire out through there. So let's do that. Ooh, easy now. Okay, so that's 1, 2. This must be the third one. So I'm gonna pull this back up this way. Come on. Okay, that is in place? Question mark. Um, oh man. Okay. So let me grab my little. So I got these little clamp things, and I hope that they're strong enough, because I really want them to be able to hold this thing together like that. Y'all seeing this? Oof. I'd like to put a piece of, or like some glue in here as well to hold the top part of this together too, but I don't think that I can do that right this minute. I'm happy to have that there, and then that'll stay, and these wires will get all wired. And see how there's a, well, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a seam that runs right down here, and that's right between the two buildings. And what I got to do is I got to make a piece that's going to cover that. And what's going to happen is that it's basically just going to go right down the seam, and it's going to look like a little metal sheet of metal or whatever. Hey Grady, how's it going? Chris, you have to lift a hair because the passenger cars are slightly taller, but it's great. I tried it out with the passenger car and it did work, which is good. Um, it's kind of scary, not gonna lie. I really thought the passenger car was not gonna make it. At least I know the locos will fit for sure, but yeah, that was a scary moment. Thanks, Willow Greek. And of course, I told you guys I got this too. This is the roof piece, and this is gonna go right over the top like that, and it's gonna connect all three together. It's just, I took the three pieces and I connect them. You can kind of see the lines, but once I weather it up and whatnot and add more detail to it, you won't even be able to see it. It'll all just look like one roof piece. But I'm gonna make it so that this is removable because I want to be able to get inside just in case. Just in case it doesn't pan out. If something doesn't pan out, anyways. I don't know what won't pan out, but we'll see. I kind of want to pin these down. Just because I do not want the tracks to move at all. So I'm just going to use now. Why is that moving back? Let me move forward. It's the thing when you're doing these separate kits, it's like got to get it all together. Got to make it look like one thing. Yeah, I've got my door covers are on this one here, but not on this one. You can tell where my work ethic is right now. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see all these light up too. That'll be fun. I still have to add the back doors on this one, but I've got the back doors on this one and the other one. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Does what it's supposed to, right? Now this here is supposed to go along this side. And I'm also supposed to put this here. I was really worried about last piece of cork here. I'm going to pin this one down, give it a little bit just to dry. I think that this is good. I'll remove those. And then I'm going to remove the rest of these because this is all dry here. Yeah, there was literally, because this is here, my laptop, which is right here now, it's on my work desk. It's normally up here. But because there's no room, because of this big monstrosity, I have to move everything out of the way just to make room for this. If I can get this last and third building in here, I will be very happy. And I'm just going to let the whole thing dry overnight. I'm going to put some glue here and there just for tacking purposes, kind of like spot welding. That needs to fix. Shame on you for coming up. But that's the wiring doing that. Chris, you ever looked at Foss scale models? Wood kits and late night hobby kits are great. Also, and Jason Jensen trains are great. Also, wood kits. It's a lot to unpack. Jason Jensen is great. I've watched his stuff a number of times. I can't say I've ever done a FOS scale model wood kit or a late night hobby kit. Monster model as well. Monster model. I don't know what monster model is. Unless you're talking about like this being a monster model. I don't know. Possibly. Grady said, I own 2 of these kits, but never put them together to make a big shop. They just stand alone. Out of curiosity, couldn't a fella not put the inner walls in and have it as one big open interior? That's what I did. I didn't. So with the outside here, right? Like there's glass. Well, not glass. It's the clear plastic, and then the whatchamacallit. So I did that around the outside. But, and I don't know if I can show you here because my cord will only go so far. Okay. On the inside, I left it open. So it's all open in between here. Structurally, I left the main parts of it, but the insides are all open. So when we look at it like this, you're going to be looking across, several shops here, kind of like the real thing. Another thing I had to do as far as making an adjustment, these here, I had to turn these upside down because they go up to a point. So I turned them upside down and I had to notch out a couple of pieces for the supports. But now this whole thing will sit flat right across here. So when I get, I'm going to see if I can have to find a piece of styrene or something that I can use as the roof. But yeah, basically, I'm just going to make it as one long sheet here to cover all 3. And then, then everything lights up. So I've got lights under every single walkway. I had the lights on at one point, not today, but on one of my last videos. It's it's quite an undertaking, and it's I broke a thing. Yeah, just this whole thing, and I had to get a lot of it painted before it started getting cold. So when I got the kit at the end of September, there, or all three kits, I should say, I got to work spraying and cleaning pieces right away so that I can work on it structurally while it's cold or too cold to paint outside, because I do use a lot of rattle cans. Yeah. Not for all of it, of course. Just for some of it. Like the white and the gray. Basic, colors. So I'm just prepping this now to see if we can get the last building in here. Because I feel like once that's in, the glue can kind of just do its thing and start curing, and it'll hold everything together. And then it's one less thing for me to worry about. And then I can get back to working on the actual kit itself, because there's a lot of things with it here that I do need to fix up and add. I think there was some handrails as well that I needed to yeah, back here I'm gonna add those handrails. Okay, so one more kit. I'm gonna pin that a little bit better. And of course, like, you don't see everything. That's the thing with this kit. You guys didn't get to see everything. A lot of like putting this on and the glass, I did that off camera, mostly because it's very painful to do. I used white glue to make sure that the windows didn't frost at all. And it takes a really long time for white glue to dry, as you can imagine. So I had to be extra patient with this just for that, I'm glad I didn't have every single window in this thing to do, because that would have been brutal. But yeah, just doing the outsides, the front way, like this shape here, that was terrible. The little windows back here, like on this section, that one piece, that was probably the easiest part out of all of it. Even this piece here, the skinny one, it's when you get into these big ones and these ones here on the side, they were really, really rough. I wouldn't do it next time. Todd, I can't even imagine doing this again, because it's an undertaking. I can't do repetitive stuff too. I find it very difficult to get the energy to be able to do the same thing more than once. So even though I did one of these kits previously, it was just a standalone kit, which is totally fine. But to do a monster kit like this and make it so that it's part of a layout and everything, would I do it again? Probably not. If someone really wanted me to do this kit for them, I would do it, but it would it would be painful. Doing every single one of those little pieces to hold up the rail. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's over 400. It was close to 500 of these little things in here that hold up the rail. And brutal, just brutal. I know they're all like white or whatever, but like, you know, cutting them out, I think is probably the worst part. I'll do something like this. I'll do it and then get it all together. I would like to weather it as well. Do some of that stuff to it once, you know, everything's all said and done. I'll get the wires fixed up underneath. Test, and then honestly, I'll forget about it. I'll put it aside and move on to something else because once you get to that point where you know you've been working on it for so many hours, all you want to do is anything else, anything but this. But it's not to say I'm not having fun doing it because like I just even the two buildings like that, I think it looks awesome, looks cool. But yeah, doing it again, I don't know. Doing it differently the next time. This is that next time because the last time I did it, I only did it as one kit. This is me doing it next time, and yeah, I'm doing it way different. I'm doing it bigger and better. Would I do it differently than this if I did it again? Probably not. I don't think I don't want to top this. I think I'm happy with this to that point where I wouldn't want to do it again. I would not add lighting. I would not add wiring. I would pay somebody else to do it. Oh, that was not me. That was the table. Oh, come on, wires. Don't be dumb. Oh, man. They're all tangled. I should probably use a different wire, something that's a bit softer because this wire is a little too stiff. So what happens is that it just makes it more difficult to work with. Yeah, Brian, if you're referring to the big ore dock, I'd love to do that. Oh man, you have no idea. Nelson, have you ever seen my ITLA kit? Because I did one like this. It was a group build though, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. And I ended up having to paint. I was going brick by brick on that thing. Hey, Dougie Doug, what's going on, man? Doug, look what I got myself into. I totally regret the whole thing. I wish I made this kit small. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah, that was less painful than this. Because that was like I like painting. So just going through and doing brick by brick and all that. That was, that was decent. That was relaxing. That's a Saturday for me. This is nonsense. Pure nonsense. No, the closest part, the part that you're seeing there where the cork is, that's where the paint shop would have been. But I think I'm just going to do storage. I think I don't want to overdo it, and I think I just want to put the storage tracks in there. It's only 2 tracks, so not much room to work with, and you probably wouldn't see most of that side of the building anyways. So, yeah, unfortunately, I know it was something that we had talked about. But Chris was mentioning, Big CW was mentioning that there's a car wash or passenger car wash kit, and I might add that somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a bit of space here, and then I'm going to put some glue in. It's true, yeah, because it's like working on one kit and as an individual kit is completely different. And then, yeah, when all 3 of them are like this, like that's stupid big. Chris, what were you thinking? You nutty cone. All right, so let's see if I can line these up. Doug, you're gonna be a Whitby. If you happen to get some shots of the maintenance facility, let me know. Oh yeah, you guys, look at this. Look at this. I gotta show you the door. because the door is funny. I don't know if you can see it here, but yeah, I put the one door in, and it's closed, right? Now it's open. But that's the only one I put in so far. Again, I need to get some magnets so I don't have to put my hand in. But I gotta do that all the way along here still. That's why I feel like I won't be going anywhere anytime soon. So, you just gotta do this here. The only thing left to do. And just to give you guys an idea of what that is, that I'm putting a cap piece on the end here. It's just foam. Just to lock the whole thing in place. Thanks, guys. Honestly, it's building a kit, but it's just building a bigger kit. Nothing too crazy, but it's fun. I'm having fun. I love doing this stuff. It's great. And I don't totally sound like I'm trying to convince myself. I just really enjoy doing these bigger kit builds and honestly do something different, you know. So for my last bit of stuff that I need to do here. Probably gonna have to do this one section at a time here, but that's okay. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll touch it up with a bit more glue in the next area, then lock that in. And then, of course, the touch-up paint, you know, got to do some touch-up paint as well. You want it to look nice, right? Gotta make it look nice. Now, I don't think I have a flat piece of styrene to kind of show you what the plan is. But, yeah, I don't. But, yeah, basically, I'm just going to put a... Oh, wait, maybe I do. Because I think I saved some. Probably around here with the detail. I don't know if this is big enough or not. No, I cut this off another piece of it. But yeah, that'll basically have to bring you in for this. So you know how you can kind of see that seam there? Basically, you cut a piece and you just run it top to bottom. I'll probably make it silver. And then it covers up the entire seam, and then it'll make it look like it's, one big building that was built in sections. Much like this. But yeah, I need a longer piece of styrene because that one's too small for that. I'm kind of hoping as well that the other glue that I put in here holds as well. Is there a door that was sticking out? It's this one. Yeah. And I think I needed to tack that. Downspout. Yeah, I got downspouts as well, but that's another thing that I didn't want to add until I had the outside done as well. Yeah, because there's holes for downspouts and whatnot too. Yep, Brian, I'm going to put in the front here, in between each rail, I'm going to put a dwarf signal. So probably like right up here. And it's either going to be a red or green. I know that there's, I think Perry said it was supposed to be blue if it's if somebody's using it or something like that. But I won't go that far. I'll just do a red or green for that. But because you guys stuck around till 10 o'clock, I'm going to show you something cool. At least I'm going to try. No promises. Okay. So, how far does this camera move? Oh, good. It'll go right here. And hopefully not fall. So this is the corner here. This is where it's going to go. And if the camera falls, I'm totally sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up there. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in its place. So heavy. Camera, why'd you fall? It's okay, camera. There we go. Camera's in the way again. Okay, so except for the wire that is definitely hanging out below it, that's where it's got to go. Ta-da! So it'll be right up there. And the tracks are going to go out this way and out a wall right there. And then, of course, that's just down below. Very cool. So yeah, that's just how I have it set up right now. I'll probably bring it down and put it back here after we're done the stream, but I gotta clean this. Oh my gosh. Dirty, dirty. All right, well, it's 10 o'clock, like I said. I'm going just for a little over 2 hours, because usually start just before 8. So that was, what's today? Today is Saturday. Okay, so Monday night for you guys. James and Mike will be live with Off the Rails Monday, and that's at 7 o'clock. So make sure you follow them. And again, congratulations to Mike for hitting 1,000. Next Thursday, we'll be over on M&M Rails channel, where he builds 5 of these kits and puts them together, and he's going to do it all within 2 hours. So that'll be fun to watch. And but he is doing Third Rail Thursday, so make sure you go and check that out. And then the following week, it's, of course, GBO After Dark. But we'll be back next Saturday to do some more on this kit. Hopefully get something done, something more. Kind of want to do the wiring just to kind of show you guys how it's all going to look when it's lit up and everything, because I think that it looks really cool. So let's do the wiring next week, and maybe some doors. We'll get some doors on there. We can kind of work that out. I got to order the magnets though. I'm going to see if I can find them locally. If not, then I'll try Amazon. Other than that, I really appreciate you guys watching, hanging out for the last couple hours. But I've got a train to catch. So we'll see you real soon. And again, if you guys didn't put in for those stickers, send me an email. Let me know what your mailing address is, and I'll send you some stickers. They haven't come in yet, but of course, when they do, you'll be the first to know. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.